What's going on, guys? Jurassic here. Today we are back to Frostpunk. Alright, with 33 homes missing, minus 41 food, and minus 266 materials, we have a lot to catch up on. Last time we sent an expedition team to basically expand our city up. Now we are going to need to make enough room for our new citizens. Which would work out so much better if we had heat stamps. Can anyone actually give us a hand? Alright, so you're 13 weeks. 3 weeks, and I'm guessing you're not going to give us anything either. Alright, so it looks like we're just going to be stuck in the cold for a while. We don't have enough heat stamps to do any of this either, so we're just going to continue. Actually, our expedition team, that's all the way powered up, so let's go up to the map real quick. Alright, so now we have two different branching paths. We have the foothills and we have the frozen bay. So this one's going to require 10 in order to launch it. So we got prefabs, cores, and frostland dwellers. This one's just going to be frostland dwellers, so that's not going to be any good. What about the highlands over here? So we're going to need 20, threat level dangerous, many scouts will be injured. Dwellers, cores, and prefabs. So once again, none of that is actually revolving around like any sort of oil. Build any scout headquarters to pass the Pathfinder Scout law to decrease the threat level. So I mean, this is the one that I'd probably go with, because I mean, we got cores, dwellers, and prefabs here, and it's going to take 15 weeks and 5 days to charter. So let's go and launch the expedition. We need at least 10 in order to power this. So as long as we go back inside of our village here. Now our expedition team, we can drop this to where it says total 15. So we'll do a total of 12, that way it's going to at least require a little bit less demand and our people are going to be gone anyways. So that's going to be basically maximum efficiency for it. Our coal is plus 11 right now, so that's good. Alright, so we're just going to have to continue our days until we get more heat stamps. Food's going to be another issue here, so hopefully people start actually getting up and running. I feel like housing's probably going to be the most efficient thing to start out with. Is none of that ooh. Because it has the frozen material right there, we can actually place a house there. Are we able to place it here though? Because I mean, this is going to get us plus 20 heat anyways. So that's probably going to be our best bet. That's not going to be a lot of houses, but obviously that's going to be a start. Well, let's see, our other district, we're going to need 50 heat stands for that. And how much is it for just building a housing district? This is going to require 40. So demand is 40. So I'm guessing if you expand, it's a little bit cheaper on you overall. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we might have just enough in order to put a housing district right there. Well, actually, no, because we have this whole like crack down here that we excavated earlier. Yeah. Alright, so let's just continue the days here. We'll get to 50, then we'll worry about the housing. Let's see, how much food do we have? Will last 50 weeks. How about you? Okay, so we don't have any stockpiles, so we're just slowly using that. Stewart, during a routine medical examination by the Stalwarts, a small group of frostlanders refused to be assessed. We already did this, so we're going to allow it. That's going to make them negative, but we'll be fine. Find a permanent source of fuel outside the city, so that's going to be doing its own thing. So research the automated logistics base. So we got 36 weeks to do both of these. I feel like as soon as they start actually paying for like the coins for us, it'll be a little bit easier. Now research does take a little bit of time. All right, so we got 51. So I mean, we have the housing over here. And we should be able to expand out that way technically. So that'll be 6. We'll expand that out, so that'll be 8, or no, that'll be 9, sorry. And then with a heat pump probably at the top of this. All right, so we're going to be down to 11, so we can't do much with that. That's going to solve some of our housing crises at least. And food's going to be the next situation here. So do we already have it fully like mapped out? So that's going to be another 30 heat stamps, so we can't even see. So it looks like we have that one open, but we need to crack open the rest of the ice in order to get up to here. So once we get enough, we'll start going out that way. We need to research more in order to get that up and running. All right, so hold on. So if we do like... Is there a way to actually get this without using as much? Because I feel like we should be able to connect all 4 of those, and we're just going to leave this guy out by himself. And that'll get us the most amount of food possible. We have our expedition team, they're going to be doing their own thing. Our housing's actually positive right now since we expanded it, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. We do need to increase our output for the coal though. So that's plus 30 right now, so that's good. See how we have total demand 40, so we might need to put a generator down eventually. But for now, that's good. And you, Steward, we're struggling with heat stamps. A group of stalwarts have come forward with an idea on how to solve it. We should pass a mass-produced goods. Let us pursue it and the city will benefit. The stalwarts look with distrust at what other communities propose. They would surely appreciate you getting behind their idea. Mass-produced goods to solve the problem with heat stamps. Let's see here. Within 60 weeks, I mean, I feel like it's going to be more research that we're going to have to do. Alright, so we'll just add it on to the list here.
Beware of frostbite. Keep your face and ears covered.
Alright, so as soon as we get enough, we're going to build a food district up and running. And then we'll worry about the materials, and we're gonna have to do the research eventually too. All right, so hold on. So we need 600 workforce. So that'd be enough for now. Now, I wonder if we can actually expand the food district to be able to grab that one without having to build like an entirely different thing. Like for this area, for example, we might have been able to actually expand it without having to build 2 of them. All right, so we got that building. So we only have 19 heat stamps. How much are we going to need to research any of the stuff that we promised? Alright, so that's 50, but hold on. Automated logistics bay. Okay, so there's several tabs up here, so that's why we were able to do it. So we got the logistics bay that we need to research, and we have the scout headquarters. You'll notice that it'll have a gold handshake showing that you promised it. So this is going to cost 50. I mean, obviously it's going to take 6 weeks to actually make. So I don't think we have enough time, actually. Let's get to 50 and we'll see what happens. I don't know, that says 28 weeks. We're good.
Wrap up well. The frost is here.
Alright, so the food will be done here in a second. Once we get up to 50, though, we'll be able to start researching our... Both of those are going to be expiring at the same time, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so now we'll go inside of you. So let's do logistics bay, because I believe this is, let's see, Frostland team output. What about you? Spore time decreased, threat levels decreased. I feel like that's like the best strategy so far. Alright, so we do technically have enough workers. We knew that the cold season was going to make us... Oh, we can't actually bump it up any. Alright, so we only have 73 workers, so we can't do anything with you. I mean, I feel like we need to at least keep a little bit of prefabs up and running. Alright, well, our expedition team's doing pretty good. So now we're just going to have to hold steady. Alright, so now we have +9 food for now, so hold on. So can we drop you... We'll go with -1 for the time being. Oh, you know what? No. Feed the people. We'll worry about the rest later on. Alright, so our logistics people should be back eventually. That should be this little symbol here. The distant secondary engine of a dreadnought. Under its hull, we found a core, an irreducible component from before. The jettison secondary engine of a dreadnought. Under its hull, we found a core, an irreproducible component from before the frost. We can use power our most advanced technology. Fissures in the ice suggest the dreadnought traveled to the frozen bay a long time ago. Okay, so it's going to take 5 teams or come back later. A mining complex inhabited by children a long time ago. Over the years, they grew older and became citizens of New London. The last miners were ordered home by the captain, but we know some coal remains in the shafts. The approach trail is in poor condition, but we found a warehouse within the prefabs the captain intended to use to improve it. We could take them or leave them in place if we want to use the mine again. Use the mine will take Frostland teams. Okay, so that's going to take 5. Future miners will surely appreciate a maintained trail. I feel like we should just use the mine, because we need that for the mission anyways. Build a trail or skyway. Alright, so we just don't have enough of our scout teams yet to be able to do that. For years, suggesting anything against the captain meant closing scrutiny from stalwarts. But despite this, booming from their bloody speakers, we managed to find our own way. Kept our principles, stayed frugal, but families first, watch out for our neighbors, continuing our traditions. Now we have a council, maybe it's time for us to stop dreaming and make a change. The council inspired people to suggest new ideas about the city's future.
The Pilgrims are now officially recognized by the city.
527 Frostlanders have organized a faction. These pilgrims form a resilient spirit community held together by bonds of tradition. They just like blasting coal mines. Yeah, well, I like keeping warm, so we're going to keep it anyways. The journey is a monument to arrogance. We must cast it off, adapt, and become free. Alright, so you're crazy. Individuals should give the whole all they can, take it away from what they need. Unlock deploy guides, community actions, experienced pilgrims with deep knowledge of the frost will guide scout teams. I mean, if you guys want to guide the scout teams, have at it. We're not getting rid of the coal. Alright, So at the moment, our research is capped at 48%. We don't have anything left to do with yet, so you're good to go. For now, it seems like we're not going to be getting any more people. I should probably build a heat pump over here, that way it's a little bit less on us, but it's about to be a hot season again, and then we can start worrying about that. Let's see. So another problem we're running into is the amount of workers we're going to need to actually do majority of this stuff. We don't have any buildings that are really like useless, because I feel like everything's sort of important at the moment. All right, so there we go. The towering structure often attracts outcasts and scavengers who would rather live together in cold isolation than follow the laws of New London. The settlement has been in decline since the collapse of the observation tower, and some may be willing to reconsider their situation and join us in the city. Oh, you need a new and stable source of heat in New London to convince them all. Alright, so let's bring them all out of the cold. So that's 2,200 basically. That's going to take some time for them to get back to the city, then we'll be able to actually start building together. And I feel like also the Frozen Bay, we're going to be able to send our team out there once they get back, and that's going to help us actually expand some. We have this coal mine, but we have to build a trail to get to it. And I feel like that trail is going to be another essential thing, so we might need to focus on build. Well, we don't have the workforce. Once they get here, we should be able to place down another scout building over this way, and then we'll be good. So we're just supposed to hold out. Our team's coming, the warm season's coming, so we can actually produce less heat soon too. We'll just let the prefabs go. Obviously, housing is going to be an issue too. Let's see. Alright, so they're going to have some rioting up inside of that area, but I think that's the only place that I can actually place down a building, right? So, I mean, it's going to have a little bit of squalor. But they'll have a home. So we'll expand that out. And let's see, so we're going to need to go back inside of our building tab. So we only have 37. We have plenty of workers now, though. I might need to actually dig out that way some. So it looks like the frozen forest. We can actually daisy chain over there, so that's good. So it's just this little plot of land right there that we have to dig out. Kind of stinks that they force you to like dig out 8 slots even if you don't have any need to go that far. Alright, so that'll be dug. We probably should build another housing district too. So that'll take the 40 heat stamps. Do we have a council that we're able to convene with? Let's see. Ooh. So is there anything else that we can actually like snap onto, or yeah, like that? Because now it has all the heating bonuses of our previous city, so that'd be perfect. Alright, so that's good. So we have housing being built. Food is also on a decline here, so hold on. Is that the only food source that we have 3 of? I think so. I mean, eventually we're going to have to build up that way. So we should be able to expand up, and then once we have the ability to like dig deeper, then we'll be able to utilize that. Alright, so we'll wait for some stuff to be built. So we'll have housing here in a minute. What are you? Prefab material, we are down to 38, so we probably should increase this back up. Alright, so you had to reduce workforce here, but it's fine. Alright, so we are almost at a part to where it's going to be a warmer season.
Breathing sessions tonight at 11 p.m.
Research is 91%, so as soon as this is done, we'll be able to research the survivalist headquarters. All it says is we need to research it, we don't actually need to build it. But I feel like the heat stamp shortage is actually going to come into play by a huge amount. And we also should be able to expand our city out a little bit along the edges there too. Alright, so that's -8 homes, so let's expand. Alright, so you're not going to be able to get the heat bonuses, unfortunately. So that'd be +3. Yeah. So I mean, we're going to be down a little bit of housing. Food district's almost built. Research is 100% complete. Alright, so hold on. So we just need to get a little bit more material in order to do this. Wait, what? It says complete. The Frostlanders are delighted you kept your word. They now look upon your rule more positively, considering you're a leader with integrity. Alright, nice. So we got that up and running. We do need to research the automated logistics bay. Once we get 50 heat stamps, we'll be able to do that. Can I borrow some from anybody else? Raise up our funds. That's going to pay for our research. And that should also allow us to build a trail at least. Alright, so you're done. So we need logistics bay. Now, do any of these work? See how there's only 2 of them that have a agreeable fist? So Stalwarts agree with this idea and the New Londoners agree with this idea. So it's either one or the other. So that's 15 team output, 500 workforce, or... Alright, so it's the same thing. We may as well agree with the New Londoners since they're a majority of our population still. Alright, so even with all of the additional upgrades to the city, we're still actually running a little bit below our expectations here. Because I figured our coal would actually be like way positive, but well, no, because it's not almost a... We're almost at the warm season. It's not fully there yet. Alright, so let's do 2... Sorry, pause this. Because now we actually need to make a trail. So we should be able to do that, and then you. So that's going to take 75 heat stamps. So that'll take 75 heat stamps, 15 prefab, and 10 scouts, and it's going to take 3 weeks to actually create this. This towering structure often attracts outcasts and scavengers. We need to find and utilize a new fuel source. Okay, so basically we just need to get a little bit more fuel and then we'll be able to recruit that group of people. We don't have an expedition team since we're building up that skyway there. I feel like that's probably the best strategy anyway, so let's get back to our city. Alright, so housing's going to be expanded. We don't have anyone freezing to death yet, so hopefully we'll have enough housing for them. Our food seems to be a little bit on the positive end, so we should be able to actually drop some of the food down. Alright, so that's +3, and it's also going to use less heat. Alright, so we'll keep it on 1x speed for now. Everything except for our materials and our housing is actually going up, so that's a good sign. Now the main thing is going to be to find like a good balance between the warm season, getting materials, the research. There's a lot of stuff to do. Cindy Paul went and got her a governess, like she's going to be a duchess or something. Cindy's pa went on and got her a governess, like she's going to be a duchess or something. Not on our watch, we roughed up that little person all night. Ferguson's boys will learn this too. If they try and wipe us up again tonight, we'll pull razors and say we'll cut out their eyes. It'll be good fun. But what do we want is a proper rumble. Short blades only. Come on, who wants to play? The lack of law regulating childhood is causing tensions to rise throughout the city. Yeah, that sounds like a little bit more than tensions, but okay. Alright, so we're not going to be able to expand out the housing again, I don't... Oh, I can. So all that needs is 3. So we'll just expand this out and then we'll put a heat pump on this side and it'll actually heat up these buildings and it'll heat up the housing. So that should work and it should actually be like really decent for us. So hold on, do we actually have that? Yes, that's already dug. So we don't have the prefabs for that. See, now it's come to a situation where we're going through a lot of materials and we're using up a lot of our prefabs, so that's going to be an issue. We're not worrying about the crime at this current time. Alright, so that prefab's almost fully done, and then we'll be able to dismantle that for material. That's going to be a major issue though, so we'll figure that out here in a minute. Housing district's going to be expanded, so let's try to put like a heat pump down. Alright, so we're running into a situation where we need to figure out what to actually do. We're running out of prefabs, which is going to slow down our building progress. Thankfully, we're positive on food. We're slightly down on housing. That'll be fixed in this expansion. And also, we're building our roads. So, I mean, this mission will be done. Technically, we'll have a new fuel source. So, I think that's going to get rid of our coal situation. We may even be able to drop down the majority of the buildings inside of the city and focus more on the material side of things. But we're also at a point where we're using a lot of heat, so we might actually need to build like some hubs over here to actually like warm them up some. But the thing is, if you like click on different buildings there, you'll see that it's 32 times 20, 80 times 25. So I mean, obviously the food district's pretty cold, so we should probably warm up this area actually. So that's going to count twice, only once for that area. So right there would gather up the most amount of houses possible here, so we'll build it there. We don't really have too much workforce, so let's just continue and see what happens. Once we get a road built, let's see. So So that's just guaranteed 250 output per day without anything extra to do. So now is that going to allow the rest of them to come back to us? I don't understand, because that should be all we needed. So maybe we got to go back. Well, so it hasn't actually given us the credit for that yet. Okay, so maybe we just have to wait for it to extract its first amount first. Does it say how long it's going to take? So we don't have any actual information on it. So we got prefabs, cores over there. So really the high pass is another one that we're probably going to want to go to. Cores I don't really care about yet. So that's another dangerous one. You're just going to be for people, which, I mean, we need more people too. Requires 10 Frostland teams, so hold on. Let's try to get us a Frostland team up and running. Requires 360 more workforce and 60 prefab, so let's see. I'm really curious to see, like, is this going to count as a building for us? The 200 prefab is going to be a major issue for us. And I don't think we can actually trade heat stamps for it, can we? So it's now the warmer season, so we can drop down on our coal output, so that's good. Alright, so that's going to take 2 weeks to finish. That's going to finish in 6 weeks, so we got that just in time. We're still having a pretty big issue on our prefabs. We're only at 161. I believe it's 200 we need for the next building. Yeah. Our workers, though, are decent. So that's just a high-rise district, so we can't do anything with you. That's another housing district. Alright, so hold on. So what's the survival thing? Food additives, no common rules. Only natural foraged ingredients may be added to food. We will train people to forage for these in the Frostland. Citizens will provide some food during the calm weather. Ooh, that's pretty good. Food production efficiency is increased. Disease is marginally increased, so that's not... I mean... So we want to have chemicals added in. So we got new Londoners for that, Frostlanders, Pilgrim. So I mean... that's going to be all the time. So how many do we need to actually pass? So we got 24 against 44 for, hesitant is 32. Is this where we need 50?
Hear ye, the votes are...
Aha, I see.
The measure passes.
Chemical additive enhancing, a new law regarding food additives takes effect. It's not going to make everybody happy, but that's at least going to allow the food to last longer. So now we go to plus 48, so we can actually drop our food down some. Which is then going to allow us to have a wider workforce here. So now we can put that inside of like our Frostland teams, for example. Actually, so if we max you out and then turn you off, That's going to be a much less draw on the city anyway, since the other one has a heat pump. So then when we come over here to the coal, we can turn the one off with the fracking. We're still going to be positive. And that's going to allow us to have 1,000 people that's not working. All right, so in which case we need to really ramp up production of prefab. So we'll max you out. All right, so we got 21 weeks of that. All right, so this will be almost done. Our scout team, I guess they're still doing its thing. Shipping trail to New London. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say that they're like busy or anything. All right. So we have a little bit of issues here. So good scarcity, law by no common rule, childhood generally greatly. Let's try to go into like the laws. Can we pass another one? 9 weeks and 5 days. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.